This is Comic Burrito. This week in comics.
This week in comics. Yeah, I'm Nick.
And it's This Week in Comics. Yeah. How's it going, everybody? Happy new comic book day. It's the first one in a while where something huge hasn't happened the same day.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. It was nice. Nice, boring Wednesday.
Yep.
For a change. As far as national news and things go, I guess, yeah.
We got some comics.
It's a really good comic book week.
It is a big comic book week.
Narrowing down to 3 was really, really difficult. I feel like 5 or 6 would have been a lot easier, but
I mean, our previews and the books I got and everything, I read over 30 comics.
Wow, that's a lot more than I had. Just the ones I had were all like, there was only 1 or 2 that I was like, eh.
A couple of my favorite heavy metals came out too.
Nice.
Scoot. I was literally saying Scout wrong, but there was a Scoot comic that came out too.
I started reading that, I think. Which one was it? The
It's called
Loot. Yeah, I did. I started that one. I didn't finish it up, but I did start.
I think all Scoot comics should rhyme with Scoot. So Loot.
So far, they've already ruined that. Because isn't Soulstream coming out next week or
Soulstream
soon?
Came out first. It already came out.
Oh, it already came out.
Soul Stoot.
Stoot Stream.
But yeah, so new comic books. Let's
Excuse me.
kick it off with. Oh, where's my? Nope, I don't have my tablet.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Hey, Steve.
There's Steve, D. Piercy. Who we got? Sam King.
Hey, this is unrelated, but check out what came in the mail.
Hi, everybody. Oh, hey.
Ooh, you got a hard copy?
Hi, Steve.
Well, I got the burn residue one.
This is not my comic room
with the trade.
Cool.
The little print.
My digital showed up earlier than that.
Mine came the same day.
Oh, weird.
Driving in the snow, shoveling has been my day. That's not the worst day ever.
I would not like doing either. I mean, shoveling your snow while listening to maybe a podcast isn't gonna work, but
I've found that the enjoyment of shoveling snow is equal to the amount of whiskey I have had. So
I usually
you can also do this thing where you put beers in the snow down the driveway. So then as you shovel, you get to the beer. That's fun.
I'm gonna go
as long as
get a tablet, but you guys should talk about.
Okay.
The book.
That book?
Your first book?
The book that you picked?
Cole picked it too.
Oh, I didn't read it.
We got Future State.
Cole can talk about it. Go get your tablet. Go. You could have had it by now. Go.
I could have.
Who is it? Lex. It's Superman versus Imperious Lex. This book is really funny. I mean, it's Mark Russell, so you kind of.
Oh, it is Mark Russell? I didn't know that.
Chaos kind of said it in his review of it, and I didn't actually see it, but he had mentioned something about just saying it's Mark Russell. I enjoyed it. If you like Mark Russell, you kind of already know what you're getting.
I love Mark Russell.
I mean, it's pretty funny because they kind of in a way makes Superman look like a bad guy, which is kind of what Lex is trying to do this whole time, all the time.
Maybe I'll pick that one up.
And it's Steve Pugh or Poe, I forget. I don't know. Pugh. He does the art on that too.
Ooh.
But it was also the 170th book that I have read this year.
Wow,
That's
okay.
Good.
I didn't realize it was Mark Russell, and my stack this week was large enough that I picked up one extra book that I was not planning on, and then called it a day. So.
I like,
but I might pick that up.
Yeah. I mean, I might say that this is an easy recommend of a Future State book, because I think that in the 2-issue story, I think that they're going to do something that's going to be enjoyable enough and different enough that most people are going to like it, and you get to see a old with a reverse skunk streak Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has one black streak instead
It's
of like the one
definitely
white.
more of what I would want out of Future State because it's a cool take on the future of DC if like things went a certain way and how things were, and it's a interesting take on Superman versus Lex Luthor. It's not the same like I made a robot and it's filled with kryptonite and I'm gonna shoot the kryptonite at you.
That old song, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I made a man made of kryptonite. Yeah.
More like my doll doesn't look cool enough. Make it look cooler.
Do you think it's worth like buying, or should I still, like I'm doing with almost all other ones, wait?
I think you'll enjoy this,
I
but
think this would be one of my easy recommendations. This is probably all of a sudden it's easy top 5 Future State for me.
yeah. I mean, I would say that it right
I like
now,
that it's only
in the
2 and
top
it's it's 2 $3.99 issues, right?
I can check what it costs, but yeah,
Yeah.
$3.99.
If it's a $3.99 and it's good, I'll go for it. That's kind of what I decided. Yeah, if it's a $3.99 and people are liking it, then I'll pick it up.
And the cover's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's got the little like penis head guy.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess both of those guys kind of look like penis heads if you really think about it.
I mean,
One-
Lex.
one-
Well, I thought you might have been talking about Lex.
Oh, yeah. Which I'm not sure what's going on with Lex either in this, but we'll
yeah,
see.
I'm pretty excited about it. It should be good. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I mean, if anything else.
All right, coming in at number 8.
I'm currently flipping through number 8.
Oh, hey.
Because I read it a couple days ago and I'm like, shit, what happened again?
Oh, we don't need to.
There's a guy named Cole in it. He's
There
pretty
is another guy, Cole. Yeah, you've been in a lot of comics.
I know. And one of
This
the
year
creators
already.
of one of the characters apologized to me for naming him using my name as such a terrible person, which is kind of cool. Thanks.
Who was that?
Tate. I don't know his last name, but he's like the co-creator of Barbalian.
Oh, really?
Like of the like origin story, yeah. He like was
That's
like,
awesome.
sorry, he's such a shit character. Like,
That's
hey,
awesome. I still this is my least favorite issue of Department of Truth so far, and it was still really, really good.
I would agree with that. I like a lot that they're building up in it.
Yeah, I don't think it was a bad issue. It just wasn't like the other ones where you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah, this is
Right?
a build
Like, yeah. So
This
it'll
is the start
get
of
to
a-
other stuff.
important part of the story.
And the art
This
is
is the end of the
still
first
just
arc too, right?
so crazy.
Is it? There's not a 6?
I'm pretty sure
don't-
this is the end of the first arc.
I don't
No.
think
Which
so.
seemed like a weird ending to me, I guess, for it. If it is, I could be wrong, but I thought I was looking it up.
I was
And it
thinking that of a different book this week, but I didn't see. It says next month, Dark 8. Maybe it is. It might be. You might be right. I don't know. It was really good. There's not much else to say about this book, really, at this point. I don't think.
Not
I
much we
mean,
can talk about it. It's
yeah,
awesome.
if you're not pulling Department of Truth, then you're 5 issues
This is-
behind. Like
fine, you
you're
can grab
trade
it.
waiting.
Yeah. And you should grab it if you're trade waiting.
Oh, for sure. I probably will. Although this definitely feels like a book that Image is going to put into hardcovers. So I might wait for hardcovers, but we'll see. It's very good.
Coming in at number 7. Number 7.
It is a sweet downfall by Scout Comics. Todd, if you have it, I left my tablet upstairs, but you went and got it. The writer artist is Stefano Cardarelia. Colors is Pantaria, and letters is Bram Meehan. But yeah, this is about a crash test dummy who is in with the mob and then goes against the mob. And it's kind of a cool little take. I really like the art. I think the
art was crazy.
It's wild.
It's one of those things where I think you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. And I've heard some people complain about not liking it, and that's fine. I mean, I think that, that's kind of what art does, but I like it. I think this is it's a nonstop, which means that I guess there's just this issue and then a trade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I would have pulled it then. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, it's fun.
This style of art isn't always my favorite, but there were definitely pages that it was like, oh, okay. Like I definitely like.
Well, because
that.
the more that's going on, the crazier this art style is because of the detail that it
Yeah.
apes to do.
Yeah.
It's like the more simple ones, it's definitely simple, but when they go like also show if you're interested in picking it up, which I would very much recommend, use diamond code NOV201506.
Well, that might be for the first issue, not for the trade.
Yeah, or it could
But,
be for the
yeah.
trade. Either
I don't
way,
think it's
it'll
sold, I
get
don't
you
think
one
it's
of
sold
them.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can buy it off Scout's website using
Also on the Scout
coupon
website.
code burrito in all caps, and
caps.
get 10% off.
All caps burrito.
It's still there.
you
I
could
actually
do.
checked today.
Yeah.
That's another thing you could do.
But I think this is kind of like, it's not really like Metal Shark Bro because it's not really as like giggly funny, but I think it's such a like
It's very out there.
obtuse like direction for a comic that it's just kind of like fun. I mean, it's not meant to be serious. So if you like super serious stuff, like, you know, going from Department of Truth to this is probably not going to be very similar, but
No,
good.
No, it definitely wouldn't be.
You know what's really good to go from that to the Shepherd, because this is also from Scout Comics, and you can grab that when you grab Sweet Downfall.
Yeah,
I didn't read that one.
It is. I like it a lot. It's essentially somebody who helps shepherd lost souls through limbo. And then there are people who are in limbo, souls that are sometimes nefarious, sometimes nice, sometimes doing other things. It's very cool. The art is beautiful. It is intense.
And I'm pretty sure there's 2 artists on there.
Yeah, because there's a like pre-limbo world.
And anyone that read this on Caliber Comics, this is definitely different than that book, because I read the Caliber comic one and I was confused when I started reading this as to think if this was a different story than the original or something side, but it kind of also ties in that first story.
The co-writers and co-creators are Andrea Lorenzo Molinari and Roberto Xavier Molinari.
Father Dad.
Do you like ghost stories? Luca Panciaroli, colorist Pamela Poggiali, and letters Joel Rodriguez. And then Origin is artist Ryan Showers, colorist Heather Breckel, letters logo Jacob Baskell, and cover by Luca Panciaroli.
Which that cover also is.
So that it looks like they pushed 2 books together. Like they credited like 2 books in here, but they weave. Not
my guess is there was like kind of like a pre-area in the first book that is different than the pre-area in this book, and I would guess that they're kind of like maybe replacing some of that stuff with this new stuff, which is cool, you know, to see like a new book from it's essentially a new take. It's the same story with a new added stuff in it, which is pretty cool.
I like it. So yeah, that you can also use Burrito all caps at the Scout web store and pick that up.
And one of the writers is a Lions fan, which is kind of cool.
Even better.
Is it?
Or Sap.
I'm not sure his son is a Lions fan.
Feel their pain.
I mean, maybe it's not worse. Kane Paul, you didn't get Dead End Kids. I don't know if our shop sold out. They had a decent stack when I went there, like right at open, but I mentioned to them selling online.
Interesting, because when I went earlier, they had a bunch still.
Yeah.
Did they? I don't know.
If you want to get the $100 copy, they do have the 1 in 30. Like there's 30 of it.
It's not 1 in 30. It's 30.
30. Yeah.
It's a third. It's
one of 30.
0. It's 1 of 30. Not a incentive. They only made 30 copies of it. I guess someone nominated our shop to get that cover, so they just got it. Yeah.
Yes, I mean he ordered a decent amount of copies of the first one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of source point there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
I mean, source point comes to every year thing that they do.
Yeah. This book we had a super cool interview with this book. But
did you know these come in paper?
It's so weird seeing Todd hold up a book that
Todd went to an actual comic book store today and got actual books.
This is a book. Like you have to flip pages. You don't tap it, guys.
I just imagine you sitting there like this, just like
I had that happen 2 months ago. Reading for the first time ever, I was reading a physical comic book and I tapped the right edge of the book, and I was like, "Oh no!"
I think that's how you know you have a problem.
Yep, that's how you know you've went digital.
I am super excited about this run. I loved the first Dead End Kids, which if you're unaware of, you did, Cole. If you're unaware of Dead End Kids, it's one of the first recommendations you gave me too. This is, I guess, a similar feel book, but it's not a continuation. If you have not read the first one and you see this, just buy it. It's a true number one. You don't have to know anything leading into it. It doesn't have any of the same characters. It's a different setting. It's just kind of under the same label.
But if you haven't read that,
but you definitely should go
pick this up, because this is $9.99 for the trade.
Yeah,
that is a good deal for
anything you see Frank Gogol write is going to be good. I've found so
yeah, like this book Grief that I just randomly have sitting here.
Well, weird. And this is good. It's kind of, some people go through 9/11 but that's not really what the story's about, but that trauma is there, and so that's explored a little bit.
Because it's 7 days. It's 7 years later.
It's 9 years after. Nope, it's 7.
7? Okay.
It's 7. Because it takes place in 2008. But it is. It's not about 9/11, but it is people who were affected by it and the fallout and some consequences thereof. It's really cool, and it was very strange. I bought 2 copies. I ate one. It didn't work, and they taught me how to do this, so I got another one.
How do I go through this? Yeah, it's very good. That's one that I would definitely put on a high list. Like it's number 5 for the week. And I feel like this is a very crazy week, and in a lot of other weeks, this would be much, much higher on our list in general.
5 is still good for how we do it.
Yeah.
Internally, that'd be a lot.
It's in somebody's top 3.
Yeah. It's actually in 2 of ours. This actually is one of the few times when this book matched completely with Nick and I's in terms of where we ranked it.
Yeah, it did.
It's cool. I always like that when that happens. I'm like, oh, we agree, and then everything around is different.
Yeah, our number 3s are the same, but every other book is opposite or different.
But
hey, Peter, how you doing?
And I have
speaking of Dead End Kids, that you only find when they're dead.
I got that book.
When they're dead, number 5.
This
is written by Al Ewing with art by Simone DeMaio, colors by Mariarsara Miyato, and letters by World Design. This is a Boom Studio. So this is mainly on here because of me. And I'm going to say something really weird about this book. The art in this is so good. The colors in this is so good. And like, I think that I agree with those things. What's happening in this book at all. I'm excited to reread this like 100 times. I'm guessing this is going to come to like after like 100 issues. We're going to be like, oh, this all.
There's only 30. There's only going to be 30.
Okay, after 30 issues, 30. Like this kind,
which is enough. It's enough.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot where I don't understand, but it's so beautiful that I just continuously continue to go through it and enjoy every part of reading it, even though I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Hi, Peter. I definitely agree on the art and the colors is really good. I think a lot of it might be better digital, which we've discussed before. Even better digital. It's still very good on print. Yeah. I really liked number 4, and my only issue is that I liked 4 a lot more than 5, and 5 is the last issue of the arc, which is. It was just kind of a strange thing for me. I have found that personally, books like this that have multiple timelines going at the same time are difficult for me to keep things in track. Yes. Especially when it's the same characters and it's not that far of a huge
difference.
Right. And it's just like it's like every 2 pages it switches, and I'm reading this book and I really like it, but I just almost wish they just gave me the first stuff first.
But I forget people's names. they'll reference names a lot, and I'm like, I'm not sure who that is because I don't remember it from a month ago. I think trade version of this is going to be
I'm going to really like read
I'm excited when this is on Hoopla. I'm going to immediately check it out and just reread it all instead of pulling out my single issue and rereading it.
Anyone else struggling with Batcat? No. I like it a lot. With Todd that Todd doesn't, but I like it a lot.
I'm struggling a bit with it.
I like the jump in that because it seems like enough time.
But we also know those characters a lot better.
Yeah.
When time jumps, I'm like, who's Joker?
And there's only 2. Maybe at 5 I'll change my mind.
And when they jump and we only find them when they're dead, in the beginning they start in the past and they talk about George's, and I'm like, I know who that is, but which crew member is it and everything? Then they go to the future and someone finally talks to him, and I'm like, oh, that's right. That's who
anyone is, and I love it.
That's it. That's all I remember because I was like, I need to remember who this is. So, and then it all clicked backwards, and I'm like, no, I don't need to click backwards. I needed to click while I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Okay. So for, unequivocally, the best book that came out this week in our number 3 position, The Other History of the DC Universe number 2. These guys haven't read it yet.
I own it.
But no, I haven't read it. Yeah,
I haven't read it. That book's too dense for me to do on a Wednesday. I can read like 3 or 4 other books in its place, and that book is so good that it deserves the time.
This is why I like DCM Tuesdays, everybody. It's
a
wonderful thing.
So nice.
I'm Dutch, so I can't justify buying 2 copies of a book, and I know I'm gonna love this book. So this isn't the one that I want to just buy digitally so I can read beforehand. I don't know. I mean, maybe someday I could just come over to your house and stand at your window, and you could digitally put it through on a Tuesday.
I'll give you a mouse. I'll tape a mouse to the outside so you can click, and you can just stand outside my house.
Just a wireless mouse on the outside, and he's just click.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. It is amazing. I love it. Maybe even more than the first one because I love the first one. I haven't reread the first one. This one's fresh. I think that's literally the only reason why I like it. Not just the same, but the back and forth. The same way that they told the story with the first one, they do in this one, except it's between Mal and Kendra. So it's this back and forth or Karen, sorry, not Kendra. Karen and Mal, they go back and forth. So it'll be Mal talking, and then it'll be his version of things. And it's like a couple who are telling the same story, but they tell it 2 different ways and have their own slants. And it's really cool. It's really interesting, and it gets deep again. They talk about really awesome, it's just so good. I love it.
So it is like a one shot type thing. If you didn't get number 1,
they're all going to be different. Black.
That's kind of what we assumed, but that is for sure a thing. So if you didn't get number 1 for some reason and you see
if you didn't get number 1, you can grab this and it wouldn't mean it. What's cool is Black Lightning is referenced once in it.
Okay.
And you literally don't need to read the first one to get it. But if you read the first one, I think you would enjoy just that. There's this square, this much of a lot of text. Mm-hmm. That you would enjoy just a little bit more if you read the first one, but you still don't need to. It's incredible. Grab it. Cool. You see it?
I did read it, so it'll be fine.
You did read it?
I did. I read number 1, so.
Oh yeah. No, so you're good.
Yeah. The square will be good. Yeah.
Yes, you'll be happy.
This square is good.
Both.
Highly can't recommend it more. It's already that's going on the next year's best of already. It's amazing. Easy choice.
Well, so you don't know because at this point you might have
move on to from the best one. Oh, you want to know what's crazy?
From the best one, we can move on to the best one. And I'm confused because I know we're going to talk about this later, just between the 3 of us off air. Do I put this in my picks for my favorite book for this year, or is this going to be one of my first picks for my favorite book for next year?
We're not sure on that yet. We'll figure it out.
This is this year, technically.
This is one of my favorite comics I've ever read in my life. It is so, like, yeah, I'm putting it up there right now. Reading this, it's everything that I want to read. The art is fantastic. It moves from this like distorted and dark realistic, and then it's black and white noir to this bright color out of nowhere, and it's just so good. I can't get over this book.
Department of Truth, but nothing like it, but very similar.
Yep.
Yeah, and like
both of that, where things look really good and things look really not saying that it not looks good, but like really like in focus and really like uninfocused.
Well, they both come from like, it looks like they both come from an alternate reality where that's like the norm style, but they're done different ways.
Look at that. Just that cover is just striking. And yeah, at first I felt bad a little bit because I was like, man, I can't imagine this book with and for lack of a better term, in my head I thought like better artist. But the more I looked at it and stuff, it's like, no, it's kind of just perfect. And it's disturbing and it's dark, but then it's light and makes me laugh. And it's maybe I shouldn't laugh, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. I really enjoy it. You said get the first issue, and then I didn't read it until I bought the second issue because it was just like one of those that got stuck behind some other stuff, and I was like, oh, I guess I have this, and yeah, it's been good.
This is probably my favorite Source Point book I've ever read, and like it's one of my favorite books I've ever read. I have all the singles. I will buy all the. I will buy the trade. If I see a variant copy that I don't own, I will probably buy it because I love Black of Heart. Which is by
who writes it and who's in it?
Charlton and Hollenbach. I forget his first name. Hollenbach.
But
apparently this book came out before under a different label, and it didn't really do much. Maybe or something, and then Source Point has bought the rights to it and is redistributing it. So apparently
they're doing similar, like Scout's done that a few times, where like people kickstart a book. I know White Ash does that. I know Metal Shark Pro has done some of that stuff. I think that Source Point just picked up a book. Funny that Poser just came in that he was talking about. I think it's called 21 Fist. And I think that was a book that Poser got from some other thing, but now it's on Source Point Press, or maybe it always was, and I didn't know. I just knew he was talking about it, but I'm guessing maybe they're starting to buy other books, like to re-release like Scout does, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's great to find and something like this. It's like I can't imagine unless it must have been a really small publisher that maybe just couldn't get enough traction for the book, and hopefully Source Point can. I mean, they've had a movie made about one of their comics, so. Maybe this could be this would make a phenomenal movie if it was something like Sin City style with the colors and stuff. It would, oh my gosh.
It might be harder to do just the way that the art is, but.
And this is only 3 out of 5. So I'm assuming this is going to get even crazier for a little bit, but very good crime book. Very good if you're into serial killer stuff and CSI type stuff. Yeah, really, really good book. Really good book.
I mean, the only thing that might make that book better is if
you just killed all the kids.
Something with killing the children.
It just
number 14. This is a Boom Studio book.
It's not done yet, so you never know.
It's written by James Tynan the fourth. It is art by Werther Del Adera. That's such a hard name to say, and it really shouldn't be, but it is.
Deladera. Werther art good.
I was saying to Todd, like, this is not necessarily like the greatest issue of this book, but this was just like today, something in my mindset when I was reading this book. I was just like,
Very good.
hell yeah, I'm enjoying a comic book so much. And Nick was like, there's no splash page in this. What the hell? And I didn't even notice that because I was so into everything that was happening.
So I got like 4 or 5 pages in and I was like, did some pages stick together? And then I flipped back through it to the beginning and it was like, no. And I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be the middle. And then I got to the middle and I was like, nope. And I was like, is it going to be towards the end? And I finished it and it was like, wow, okay. And I honestly think that they couldn't cut this down any smaller. And I will say, I won't show it because I'm looking at it right now. There is a full page spread, and it's worth not having the title page to have this one.
Now I got to go back and look because I don't even know if I remember.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's towards the end. It's after the halfway point.
Oh yeah. I opened that.
Real
I
good.
almost took a picture really and like sent it to everyone, but I was like, they probably read this before I did.
It's
one of my favorite issues of the book.
I think 14 and Something is Killing the Children is almost exactly what Something is Killing the Children is. It has some backstory elements to it, but it goes back to, it feels closer to a first arc book than the rest have for just like some of the things. It's just an elevated version of it where there's more going on and all of that. And I'm excited to see. We have to be transitioning to something different soon.
And it's either going to be an end of the book or it's going to go to different areas.
Yes. And I'm excited.
Well, it's one of those things.
And not that we wanted to end though.
No, but it's finally taking certain things and saying like this does have a purpose and this does have a meaning and this does have an intention. And so it's kind of like, I can't say it, but I mean, when you found out other things, when they go into the house and stuff, and it's like, there's like this stuff has a lot more to it than like just a cool style or just a cool thing.
Seance thing going on.
Yeah, that was neat.
But to answer Sam's question,
the first one you bought, Steve?
It was really good. I really liked this issue. It almost made my top 5. I really liked it.
I just don't read it because it's one of those where it is, even though it's a single issue, it's a girthier issue. And I try to like
read it and later. There was just a lot of really good stuff this week. And we have talked Strange Adventures so much that I think I'm slightly fatigued about talking about it. So it just didn't make my top 5. I'm not as excited about it. But I still really like it and still very much recommend it. It's a really cool series.
This is the only book that I do this with. So
also, Comic Signal near us has all 3 because I picked up all 3 physicals today.
Do they really?
They still had them all. So if you are wanting it, we can probably help you if you can't find it.
If you can't find it. Our shop, I talked to them today about, because they have a lot of times they have books like that, like Dead End Kids, where they have a stack of them. And I see on Twitter, people are like, we don't have them. And so I asked them today literally in my fucking hand.
I knew. I was like, he's holding something. We're talking Source Point. I bet you this is happening.
And, I did talk to them, and they don't want people to be like messaging them to ship because they don't really have stuff like that, but we could probably grab it for you and ship it to you.
I mean, I know Pete said he needed one, so I pretty much just bought him one, and I just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to ask you for an issue like a month from now. Why don't we just call it evens, and you just ship me one when I need it?
Yeah, just keep swapping.
This is my number 4 book of the week, but I sent you my list before I read this.
Sure, yeah.
So it did not get updated. So maybe this would have made the list. This was a lot of fun. 3 Source Point books in my top 4.
And I think that's just kind of how Source Point rolls too, from what I've seen.
They had
a lot
one
of
other
books come out the other day. Like in one day, it's just boop, boop.
They had one other come out today that I didn't get. And just because these were all so good, I kind of want to just go get the other one. Just because.
What else came out?
It's like the 8th something, I want to say. I know it's like... I think Chris from Lost in Comics got it, which was like,
"Ooh, dang,
that's a far traveling book." But
that's awesome. I grab. I was looking at since I was looking at the Source Point stuff. I didn't realize Floppy Cop number 4 came out, so I grabbed that. I was there.
Oh, I gotta get that.
Floppy Cop number 4. That's cool.
Yeah, and that's a cool thing. They do have a pretty good Source Point section.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they're pretty
Being
like
local. Yeah.
I remember the first anniversary of Comic Signal or the opening, they had like 10 people tabled there. Yeah, you see this, Nick?
You're getting guilted.
Yeah.
I mean, this was also like a really weird week because there's so many good books. Like, I mean, I think like the only book that I
Cole
read
has
of my
sent me
15,
something, and Todd has sent me something also.
would be like that I wouldn't maybe talk about today is Spawn, and it's only because I read a Spawn issue and I haven't read any Spawn in my entire life. Like,
And you
I
just read-
might have read one issue of Spawn, and to
You
be
read
completely honest,
317 or whatever?
the art in that book is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I might not be a fan of what Spawn is as a story,
Oh,
but that art is sweet. I
I'm
mean, it's
caught up
probably
on
not
Spawn.
bad.
It's never something that blows me out of the water, but I do like Spawn a lot.
Reading issue
I spent
314 of Spawn.
2 months catching up on Spawn. Like, oh man, it's over a year now, but it's a long time ago. It's a lot.
I've read the first arc like twice, but I couldn't tell you what happens.
Personal picks of the week.
Am I first?
This week you are, Cole.
I don't have the third because Todd had showed it digitally, but I have Something is Killing the Children. We only find them when they're dead, and Sweet Downfall.
Sweet downfall. What? You make Scout books look so good.
So good. So good.
So good.
So damn good.
Freaking.
Oh, is it me?
Oh, hey.
I was looking for Department of Truth. Black of Heart 1, Something is Killing the Children 2, and Department of Truth 3. Although I might slide this over Department of Truth. Honestly, I said 4, but it might be 3. It was a lot of fun. I like that book a lot.
Black of Heart is Killing the Children, Dead End Kids.
Or Dead End Kids.
Yeah,
Dead End Kids.
That's not right. That's not right.
I forget what I said.
Yeah, you're right. No,
Nick says I put
4.
2 Source Point books over Department of Truth. But still continues to add Department
now
of Truth.
Now he says 3 over it.
Yeah, it would be 3 over it. So good job.
We're not switching to top 5. Let's keep moving.
No.
My personal top picks of the week. Honestly, my number 1 is really all 3, and then it's Black of Heart, Dead End Kids, Suburban Job. Sorry, every other comic ever, but I love other history of the DC universe. It's
fair.
And pretty much I would have maybe sat down and read it if Todd wasn't planning on it. But
yeah, I got the.
I just know he's got the time and I don't. And Comic Book Closer called me out for not being able to read girthy books. But I read 15 issues and I just don't have as much time today to read the new stuff that I grabbed. So
Cole can handle girth.
Yeah, ask Nick.
No problem.
Just kidding. Don't ask Nick.
Not
ask
me.
Todd, maybe.
Not me.
Maybe I was. Nick has a very wide knee. It's ironically wide.
Jesus Christ. What an in-joke.
If you're in, you're in.
Other history of the DC universe, Black of Heart, Dead End Kids, Suburban Job.
There's only 4 people in the world that understand that.
Yep.
And the 4th, I don't think the 4th is here. Nope. And you'll never see this.
But, I mean, excluding 2, this is how many books I still have to read from this week.
Yeah,
you can literally see which one is DC. Other history of the DC.
No, it's not even there. That's Batman Black and White.
Oh, is that
right here? I didn't even include that.
Maybe.
I also have that one that I didn't read.
Oh yeah, Criminal Sanity came out. I didn't read that yet
because I think I stopped reading it. I think I stopped reading. So I gotta reread and catch back up.
But yeah, did
you read Secret Files?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is that 5 or?
I think it's Secret Files. I think it's out of numbers.
Yeah, they're just kind of like the weird thing.
Like here's showed up stuff. In between 4 and 5.
I gotta read that.
Yeah,
really good.
It's really.
Is it good?
Yeah,
it's good.
I mean, that and Villainous were both great books. I think the thing that they run into on a week like this with a lot of solid titles is they're all like the issue before the final issue. So like sometimes
next time they come out, they'll probably be easy, very top picks.
Yeah, I mean, I read 4 issues of Villainous last night, so
yeah, that was good. That's still really good.
I got to read that.
That's
also good. I need to read. Actually got that one in.
Except I need to read the 3 before this and a whole arc before that.
That's a lot.
So I'm very behind on Black Hammer. Speaking of Black Hammer, if you have not read Black Hammer,
Yeah,
we started a Discord channel. I don't think anybody's done anything yet. I usually wait till a little later to read my stuff. So probably tomorrow or Friday, I'll be reading the first arc of Black Hammer, and we can talk about it in the Discord. And we're going to talk about it a little bit on Saturday.
I haven't even been invited to the channel
for sure. What? I thought it was open.
Open to everybody?
Nope.
Oh, that explains a lot.
No.
Oops. Well, we're going to start that this Saturday then, because it's already Wednesday.
Yep.
So read Black Hammer with us. It's really good, and that gives you a little extra time. Oops.
Hilarious. Yeah, whoops. That's
I said something a while back.
Now it's open to everybody.
Now it's good. So yeah.
Whoops.
And I think we're good with spoilers in the Discord and things. So if you're reading it, if you're because the whole point is to talk about it. So if you don't
like arc 1.
Yeah, arc 1, and maybe don't talk about the ending right away. But yeah, go ahead and talk about stuff as you're reading it, and it'll be fun.
It is now available. You can all see it. It'll be a good time. Yes, you do need to find the first arc.
I'm going to
check
he doesn't have Hoopla, but Libby or whatever it is, the Overdrive, whatever one you have, maybe it'll be out there.
Or any shop should have Black Hammer Volume 1.
At least the trade, for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, they definitely don't have the singles because I've asked. And
there's also library edition.
Yeah.
There's library edition.
Has anyone ever talked about that before?
No, I don't think we've ever talked about the wow, is that what it looks like?
Did we ever mention that?
Speaking of girth,
The Gathering? I don't even know where it is.
Comics
anymore.
The Gathering,
Obviously,
not Wes's side of it.
No, I asked him, like, do you even know who's on that? Which is funny. I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but I DM'd one of the guys from Court of Nerds and was like,
they didn't
even know they were on the back of this book.
Good.
I was like, I figure you guys knew this, and he's like, nope, none of us even knew that. So that's hilarious. Thanks for pointing that out.
I love it. That's awesome. So yeah, join that. Let us know what your picks of the week are in the comments below. Make sure to Ant-Man that like button and Thor hammer the subscribe button.
Yeah, and Daisy Duke the bell.
Tell a friend and join us on Saturday for a live stream.
Do we have anything planned this Saturday?
Nope, we'll figure it out. Oh, Chaos is going to be on?
No, just Chaos. No, actually Chaos.
It's an exclusive second interview with Bearded.
Chaos's baby will be on.
And that's it.
It's just it. Just the baby on a camera, and that we walk away.
And he's like, that's not my baby.
Yes.
Shit.
Oh, no. So,
it will be a baby.
Thanks for getting wrapped up with us for... I'm Ted.
I am Cole.
I'm Nick.
Bye.